Good morning, guys. Let's try this again. The audio wasn't working. The mic had disconnected itself. So that's why you couldn't hear me. It wasn't a you thing. It was a me thing. So good morning again. Today we're going to talk about the discomfort of being you. Now, if you're new to me, I'm Marshall Burtcher, and I help codependents, survivors of narcissistic relationships, rediscover peace, connection, and happiness after narcissistic abuse and codependency. Been at this for a good 12 years now, and I've worked with thousands of people in liberating themselves from their love addiction, from the codependent thinking, really helping them ultimately discover their value, their voice, their vision, and move on to live life in a way that they're happy with. Now, also I have a community. It's called The Community, and I've shared this video out to them. Hi, guys. So if you're looking for a shelter where you're protected, you're believed, you're understood, you get love, you get support, you get healing, you get tools, you get guidance, that's where you want to go. The link is above on Facebook, below on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. So today we're talking about this concept of being, the discomfort of being yourself. So yay, it's working this time. Excellent. Thank you, Lori. Hi, Anastasia. Good to see you guys. So the discomfort of being you. Codependency taught us to look at the world a certain way. And the real world, like real love, real connection, real happiness, is the opposite of what we discovered through the codependent lens. Okay, so it's kind of like the world is inverted to us. It's opposite of how we think it works. Now, common example is that, love is earned. Codependency says love is earned. Healthy love says love is received. It's freely given. It's freely contributed, right? These are opposite concepts. So when we understand that codependency is responding to the world in a way that is opposite to the actual nature of the things we're trying to get through codependency, then we can start to understand why it's uncomfortable to be yourself. So, I think for some people it'll be like, well, Marshall, you teach people how to love themselves and how to enjoy themselves and be themselves. Yeah. You're doing a video on the discomfort of being yourself. Yeah, because if you've grown up in a codependent system or a narcissistic dynamic, being yourself was intrinsically uncomfortable because you're going against the programming, you're going against the system you were in. So when you start to exit codependency and move into being who you are, really embracing the value, voice, and vision that you be, it's going to get uncomfortable because you're going to have to do things that are opposite to your programming, to this programmed impulse within you. And that's a good signal. It's a good signal that you're moving beyond the codependency and moving more into self-advocacy, which is the opposite codependency. It's to let yourself receive love and let yourself give love, right? It's to rock the boat. It's to disappoint people. It's to let people stay disappointed. It's to stop caring about their approval and their rejection and move towards the connection you feel with them instead. It's to, you see, these are the opposites of what we are conditioned to do to survive. We're also going against the grain of our neurology in this because we have been conditioned by our experiences to expect certain kinds of outcomes with relationships especially. And when we start to interact and connect with healthy people, it's opposite of what we would expect it to be. In other words, rather than being on guard all the time, or being in a chaotic cycle, or being hooked on intensity, when we're with healthy people, it becomes more and more secure, more and more predictable, more and more even a little boring. And that's important. Even though we aren't comfortable with security and normalcy because we're waiting for the other shoe to drop, we're actually doing the right work. We're doing the work that moves us towards love, towards connection, towards an honest and healthy fulfillment of our needs, our wants. Yeah. And so this is the gap we wrestle with. We start off with codependency. We're moving towards self-advocacy. And then we have the gap between, and that is where I come in. It's where my tools, my processes, my practices come in, is to help you navigate this gap so that this journey of discomfort becomes less and less discomforting, more and more comfortable, more and more empowering, more and more safe to do, safe to be in, safe to follow. That's the magic here, guys. As we become safer being ourselves, safer saying no, safer rocking that boat, safer being anchored in our innate value rather than the approval and rejection others give us, the more comfortable this becomes, the more normal it becomes. And we start to forget to be codependent because our programming is evolving into that self-advocacy. And so as we resolve our trauma, resolve our programming, and we internalize new habits, somatic habits. A habit that really sticks isn't mental, it's physical, it's somatic, it's felt, it's encoded into the nervous system. So we start to do that through practice and experience. We become more and more comfortable. But the big signal that you're doing the work is it's getting uncomfortable. Unhealthy people are getting really uncomfortable. Unhealthy situations, uncomfortable. Healthy situations, uncomfortable, but also comforting. Like, wow, this is safe. I'm not used to it. It's not my normal. But it feels safe. It feels good. I can do this. We start to let go of that shame and start to find space from it. That's uncomfortable. But it starts to feel better and better and better as you allow it to be there. You start letting go of the euphoria. You start connecting with real love. That's uncomfortable because it's not, real love is not intense. It's comforting. It's regulating. It's gentle. That's an uncomfortable space when you think love is euphoric. When you start to believe your perception, you start to counter other people's perceptions. You start to get into the arguments, the disagreements, the difference. This is big. So moving out of codependency is intrinsically uncomfortable because you are moving back into alignment with real life and how needs and wants are really met. You're moving back into alignment with you, and you'll have some friction there. Guys, it's okay that it's uncomfortable. That's why I give you tools and practices that help normalize this, help regulate that nervous system so that it becomes encoded in your body, that you can become more and more free of the trauma you've experienced, more and more free of the programming, more anchored in your own value, voice, and vision. And that's what this whole journey is about. That's why I have those 3 stages or 3 phases of happiness after codependency. Phase 1, heal yourself. That's where the Heal Yourself membership comes in. That's where you're working with the From Addiction to Connection course, the Heal course, or Nurture, the upcoming Restoring Safety course. The Phase 2, which is Know Yourself, which is about the happiness strategy, core values, mastering and igniting your worth and your vision, pursuing your happiness, that kind of thing. And then Phase 3 is Sharing Yourself. That's about developing healthy relationships. That's the journey. And that's how I help you cross from codependency to self-advocacy, then to happiness. I help you cross that gap. So right now, the happiness strategy is open for enrollment. We have, last I checked, was 16 seats are still available. We start this coming Monday, so in 6 days. This is the last run for 2020. The next one will be in March 2021. I think March 22nd is the launch date for that. Wonder what they're doing up there, right? Just pounding. They might be nailing something. So I encourage you to get in on that. Saying check that out with the link above on Facebook, below on YouTube. It's a 3-stage journey over 10 weeks where I teach you how to retrieve, anchor, and be your value. I teach you how to identify and then follow your voice, and then how to identify and follow your vision so you know, love, and live who you are. Basically, I'm giving you the tools on how to love yourself, how to hear yourself, and how to follow who you are so that your happiness becomes more in your power and you're not lost in thinking or trying to please other people, figure out what they want and what they think. And it empowers you to overcome the discomfort of disappointing other people, and also improves increases your sense of trust and self-love. So I invite you to join us there. If you have any questions on that, let me know. There's also scholarship options if those price points are out of reach for you. Just feel free to reach out to me either via private message or through email or on my website or in the community on Facebook. Okay, guys, I appreciate you. Know that discomfort is a signal that you're doing it right, that you're succeeding, and that it's going to be okay. Your persistence will create the change within you, and you will succeed. And when you've got the right tools and you've got a community that's got your back, it makes it a lot easier. So make sure you join. We'll help you accomplish that faster. You guys have a great day. Remember that you're worth knowing, loving, and keeping. And I will see you in our next training video. Bye-bye, guys.